Hi, so I'm sitting here eating my lunch and we got a bunch of new books and I grabbed one when we had a fire drill and I was reading it on the field and I was intrigued. So I came back and I was eating my lunch. I was reading it some more and I got through the first chapter and I went, wow. So that is a really good sign. I thought, let me talk about this book. We Weren't Looking to Be Found by Stephanie Kuehn. Stephanie, I don't know who you are, but this book is awesome so far. Okay, so let me give you a little snippet and then I'll read it a little bit to you too. Two young girls, two desperate stories, one unlikely friendship. Danny, female, D-A-N-I, comes from the richest, most famous Black family in Texas and has everything a girl could want. So why does she keep using drugs and engaging in other self-destructive behavior? Camilla's Colombian-American family doesn't have much, but she knows exactly what she wants out of life and works her ass off to get it. So why does she keep failing? And why does she self-harm every time she does? When Danny and Camilla find themselves rooming together at Peachtree Hills, a treatment facility in beautiful rural Georgia, they initially think they'll never get along and they'll never get better. But then they find a mysterious music box filled with letters from a former resident of the treatment center, and together they set out to solve the mystery of who this girl was and who she's become. The investigation will bring them closer, and what they find at the end might just bring them hope. Okay, so then it tells a little bit about Stephanie. We Weren't Looking to Be Found is a complex, hopeful, and heartbreaking story about finding your people in the most unexpected places. Oh, so important to find your people. So I started reading this book. I haven't met Camilla yet. Chapter 1 introduces the character of Danny. She is a hot mess. So she is really, she's a drug addict, Vicodins, all kinds of things. So she pulls up to her very, very incredibly fancy house. Her parents are having this huge party and she's popping pills and she's eating gummies and she's getting drinks from the bar. So let me see if I can find a good spot to read to you. Once inside, this is when she gets to her house. Once inside, I long to be anywhere else. My breath quickens and my heart rattles as I creep through the foyer, across the living room and head for the staircase. I'm eager to avoid detection, interrogation, whatever the hell we're calling it these days. It's hard to pinpoint when my discontent with my family began. Growing up, I was my mother's daughter, smug, bold, and believing wholeheartedly in her vision of Black excellence. How could I not? I was a Washington, to the manor born. As a child, my life revolved around Black cotillion and Black society and Black choir. I excelled at these because I excelled at whatever I put my heart into. And whatever I put my heart into was whatever would make my mom proud. This symbiotic system worked for a while until she craved more. I was in 4th grade when her political career took off. It started when she was elected to the local school board. Then came her tenure as the city's chief financial officer, and now she's finishing up her first term on the Dallas City Council and is already planning her re-election bid. At first, I was thrilled to see her success. It wasn't until late middle school that things began to shift, that I began to see my mother for the hypocrite she was. It started when she began voicing support for charter schools, which was a topic that had come up in my social studies class. How they were different than private schools because they were publicly funded and operated by taking money meant for all and giving it to a select few. Well, guess who took offense to being questioned on her morals? My mother's response was to tell me I didn't know what the hell I was talking about and that education in a place like DFW, it's where she lives, was too complex for me to understand. Challenge accepted. I spent the next 2 months working feverishly on my 8th grade social action project that highlighted the faulty logic in the charter school model, its reinforcement of racial segregation, as well as the damage done by lack of regulation and oversight. So it goes on to say how her project was successful and she was asked to speak at these symposiums, and her goal was to prove her mother was a hypocrite and to prove her wrong, and she was really successful. So she's definitely got this funny, funky, dysfunctional relationship with her mom. And then it goes on and starts telling us about her drug abuse And so far, it's really intriguing, and I'm totally into it. I'm bringing it home, and I'll finish it, I bet, within the next couple of days, okay? We weren't looking to be found. Come get it.